For the first time in his life, Sherlock is truly afraid. A man of rationale and reason, he faces an otherworldly entity that defies all logic, and this discovery is as enlightening as it is shattering. The pursuit of truth pushes Sherlock to the verge of madness, and it's the only story that Watson will never publish. Fortunately, I am not Watson, and I can publish whatever I want. And today I will be publishing the Let's Play of Sherlock Holmes, The Awakening. So, what do we do now, Sherlock? You ask? Well, elementary, Watson. Elementary. Now we jump right in.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Elementary. Watson, elementary. And we're in. Tensions between England and Sweden are running high after a series of unfortunate mishaps during a recent visit to London by Swedish Prince Ildur. Chief among the scandals was the embarrassment of the British diplomatic corps as a result of the unexplained disappearance of Prince Ildur's personal bodyguard. The longtime member of her inner circle took the opportunity to explore London while off duty and never returned from his late-night promenade. A spokesman for the police assures the advertiser that they are confident the bodyguard will be relocated as he is a striking representative of the Scandinavian people. A man like that gets noticed, whether by his peers at the gentlemen's clubs or at the fair nightingales who comfort them.
Local gossip, all of it
Are
uninteresting.
nightingales the ladies of the night? I'm not sure. They might be the ladies of the night.
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes
Oh.
insists on delivering the books to our
Nice.
door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
My new Mickey Mouse book has arrived.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
Werner. Is he Werner Vogel?
I don't see the strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
Oh, it's outside. It's rainy today. Open the casebook and put on a hat. Ah, we got fancy schmancy clothes here. Let's go with this. What is that? The strand is missing. Watson, the morning's post, but the strand is missing. He disposed of it before entering the building. What is this? Nothing. Oh, it's a thing that we will check out later, I guess. Oh, we have to search the trash outside? Oh no. Okay, I put on the hat. Looking good. It is looking fancy. The dust, is this the dust bin? What is it? Are we using this to touch stuff or what?
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool.
Just perfect.
You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the strand. Get your copy of the strand here. Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
No.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson,
Cool, now I can take the day off.
can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks,
Sheesh.
Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears. If you have more shillings.
Mr. Watson has lots of shillings.
Get the strand. Get your copy of the strand here.
You've got a new question in your mind place. Open the casebook and see. Select the relevant pieces. The mind place. Who ruined the strand? What is this? Oh, I remember this. I think I played this game when it came out. So what am I doing? Mr. Barnes is involved in the scheme. The newsboy said the suspicious man was carrying a stack of books. And this morning, Mr. Barnes, the local bookseller, delivered a novel for Dr. Watson. A cactus spine for assassination, a loud bang, a visit to Mr. Barnes is in order. What if we did it wrong? Oh, is this the Japanese embassy? But doesn't he look where he knows where he's... Also, wait, once we discover something, we can fast travel there. Okay, I think I got it. This is not a very open worldy game. There we go. Barnes Bookshop. There it is. And now we can always quick travel there, huh? Space, hold, fast travel. Sorry, I mean fast travel, which is something completely different than quick traveling.
Do you even have enemies that would want to kill you? Okay, perhaps from Cordona.
Oh, he's got a little rascal.
So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
He's got a little rascal. Oh, we're observing him. Let's see. Oh, he's got the dirt on his fingies. Or ink. Bags under the eyes. Oh. Sore left leg. Wants to look taller. Mr. Barnes has large bags under his eyes. He's developed a limp, likely the result of an attack. He wears high heels to look taller or stronger, presumably to deter future violence. Mr. Barnes is being threatened by someone and might be involved in a plot against me. Blackmail victim and workaholic. Mr. Barnes has developed a limp and has... He's not very confident and tries to appear taller by wearing high heels. Oh. Overwork. So what could it be? I think he's not involved in a murder plot.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please...
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
No, really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out.
All right, what do we have here?
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. The finest view London has to offer.
Flower lady, huh? We're missing one more thing. Is it like in this view, or do we have to... Oh, books. Yeah.
An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
He wants to impress the lady. He's got money on the table. Just laying around like that.
Basics of cryptoanalysis. Cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
Catalog of exotic plants on Barnes' counter. The name of the catalog reads Everlasting Plants for an Everlasting Love. So he might have gotten the plant from the flower lady with the
I could
poison.
hardly imagine anything more macabre.
He's in love with her and she's trying to kill Mr. Holmes. Wouldn't that be a possibility?
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
So how can we lure him out?
The ladder is broken, recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Maybe that's how he got the limp. So, Mr. Barnes?
Apologies, but I can't hear you. Please come back later.
Are those human bones? Sheesh. Oh, there's something. No, coffee cup. Sheesh.
People don't tend to come out for flowers when it rains. Perhaps I should try selling door to door. Have a look at my flowers. They will not bite unless you touch their thorns.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses.
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
Oh, it could be one of those. A prickly pear. Or pear.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something. The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but
I know.
softened by something.
I can't abort him saying it twice. There's one more.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by
Let's
something.
hear it again. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Familiar spine. Is this what I found in my dustbin?
sheesh.
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
I don't think she tries to assassinate or try to assassinate me.
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, you. You tickle my fancy schmancy. Distant look. Avoids eye contact or distracted. What does she have there? Wearing makeup. Mourning brooch. Honoring deceased husband. Unusual work for attire. Luxury fabric. She's got quite a few things going on that aren't quite usual, huh? Let's lift her gown and see what's underneath. No, just kidding. Yo, clean boots. Changed shoes upon arrival. So... Mrs. Fleming uses makeup to hide her tear-stained cheeks. Her dress is made from an expensive fabric that is not suitable for outside work. Her shoes show no traces of mud. She must have changed them when she arrived. While she tries to bury her grief by dressing extravagantly, she still wears a mourning brooch in memory of her late husband. Her gaze, always staring off into the distance, reveals her emotional detachment. Taken as a whole, one must conclude that Miss Fleming is still reeling from her tragic loss. But the other option is Mrs. Fleming wears a mourning brooch in memory of her late husband. Her dress is made from expensive fabric that is not suitable for work. Her shoes do not trace any mud. Her eyes constantly dart around the street, seemingly in search for something. Perhaps she's waiting for someone. While Miss Fleming cherishes the memory of her departed husband, she's trying to move on. I think this is it. Maybe just pick
Mrs.
one.
Fleming, you look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes.
How about I provide you with my keen fist to the face? No? Okay, well, it can't hurt asking, right? Cannot hurt asking. Provide evidence of what?
I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, she can't help me with that, huh?
I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
Specializes in roses.
I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
Okay, so I want to talk about the cactus, but it's not on the list here. Oh, there you go. It's on their dagger
One
symbol.
of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
Huh. It's very strange.
I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
Oh, I thought you were a horse seller.
I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Ooh. Well, we know what he's thinking about. Let's see. Can we deduct? Can we deduct? I deduct that Mr. Barnes is a horse in real life. We got the cactus, and what do we have here? Ah, there we go. Barnes displays a bouquet of dead flowers to attract the attention of Mrs. Fleming, a florist. He may hope she will come into his shop and give him a watering advice, or it could simply be a symbol of his desperation. Barnes anonymously gifted her a cactus, which he ordered from the catalogue on his counter. Questionable choice, but for Barnes a symbol of his eternal love. since the catalog presents the cacti as immortal. Plainly, this is the same cactus he dropped on the strand outside 221 Baker Street. 221B Baker Street. Now to hear the full story. Wow, he solved the first crime, guys.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes.
Love is in the air.
We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer.
And?
I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and.
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Salpeter. Explosion rocks docks. Locals at the port of London had a rude awakening last night with loud bangs and thick red smoke disturbing the peace. Merchant ship Moskva had docked at Pier N3 in early evening en route to Europe when it was rocked by several concussive explosions. The port authority is yet to comment on the incident, and it is unknown if any crew members were on board at the time. Eyewitnesses report seeing a salpeter leaking into the river. No, not but like seeing a salpeter. But with the area still off limits to workers and the public, it may be some time before we have a full account of what transpired.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
I solved another case.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No? Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me.
Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Oh yeah, we got a real case. And I don't know where it is. That way? Do we have a clue? Stenwick's...
Not much further now.
Are we going to the Stenwicks?
Stenwick is just down the street from Barnes's bookshop.
Yeah, or here.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles. And it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony, then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
Tell me about Kimahia.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
Is there any reason Kimahia may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
Cabbage.
Did Kimahia make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No, no. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
I take it this is the first time Kimahia has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
He's rescued him from savagery. Whatever that means.
Why are you still here?
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed? You think you know someone.
Alright, let's look for any clues here. Maybe there was a break-in or something? Maybe some muddy footprint? There we go. First clue. What is that?
Chewing tobacco. A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots.
What is this thing here? Why is this a green thing? I can't investigate it. Oh wait, I can move around, right? I can only move left or right. We got the shoe, we got the chewing tobacco. The tobacco. Why can't I look at this? I don't get it. We're clearly missing one more thing here in the observation. Excuse me, could you get out of my way?
Looks like a knee print. Someone knelt here.
What?
The
How
amount
did
of
I
chewing
do
tobacco
that?
suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
I pressed Q. I don't even know what Q is. With enough clues, Sherlock Holmes can use imagination to reconstruct the past. Press Q to see an imagination. See imagination nodes. Interact with. Now you're telling it to me after I found out on my own. Concentration helps you pick up smaller details about the. See, they're making me sneeze with their illogical stuff.
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
Well, that is great. A lock with an unusual keyhole. I don't have a key anyway, so.
The rag reeks of smoke. Someone plugged the chimney.
Oh, wait, someone plugged the chimney, so he got smoked up in there, and he had to go out, and then he got attacked. He was hit unconscious.
These tracks. They seem fresh.
He was attacked, and then he was this the bat? He was carried out with a wheelbarrow or something. Concentration helps you pick small details on the barrel. Green circle press Q to after. Wait, pin the relevant information. Some clues won't be visible. Okay, I can only pin one thing. Footprints. not used recently, so it wasn't this one here that was... This isn't the wagon that was the wagon that was used. Pile of logs.
Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it elsewhere. Can't see it anywhere in the garden.
It was a different cart, and I'm sure the guy was on it. Trail in Captain... The fresh parallel tracks. There's a broken cart in the garden. Garden cart was used kept under the rain cover. What am I doing here? Oh. Am I figuring out the events here? It looks like a face print.
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
I'm still not sure how the pinning works. Oh, there's something at... Where's... What? No, it's something different. We might not find the clues if we don't pin something else. What am I pinning here? Somebody's face? Mr. Stenvik's testimony. Are we finding now other evidence if we pin that? I don't get it. I'm not finding anything here. Sheesh. Cloth in the chimney. Kimihia was his name.
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here. A scrap of Hessian.
Another clue here.
These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them.
Okay, here we got the clues.
A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called.
A nose flute.
Clothes made of Hessian. Is Sten really so miserly?
It gives him bad quality clothes. He lets him eat only cabbage.
Button chops. The remains of a meal.
Oh, never mind. I stand corrected.
The ashes are long since cold.
What is that?
A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
Why do they all have to go into Afghanistan? In all times they have to go in Afghanistan. The Pastor the Afghani. With their shenanigans.
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
So how do we get the second clue here? I'm trying to use this ability, but it doesn't help me. Clues in the garden. So it's not going to be the garden clues. What do we have here? There's a stack of clothes. Oh, wait. So if we pin this... Pin, I, and talk. Oh, wait. There's stuff here. Key print missing. Unusual bent form bent to the left. The key was missing.
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
So they put the narcotics in the fire, they closed the chimney here, and then he got unconscious in the bed. And then they brought like a little wagon here, took the key, and wheeled him away. That's what happened.
No air coming through it.
Let's talk to Mr. Stenwick. See what shenanigans he's up to, or has been up to.
The door to your garden has an interesting lock.
Yes, I have uncommon locks on every door of my mansion. It makes them harder to pick. Kimmy here and I both had a set of keys.
I'll need to borrow them.
No, you'll need to do what I tell you to do. Examine the garden.
Dude, I'll just leave again.
I thought you were meant to be intelligent.
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimahir's?
Yes, I had to give him something to clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but I found it distracting. Where on earth are you going with this? Are you joking? Why would I know this? Are you joking? Why would I know this?
Do you happen to know Kimahir's shoe size?
I wouldn't have the foggiest. But I'm sure it was enormous. Not that it matters. He spent his life barefoot. Despite my best efforts, he simply did not take to shoes.
Huh.
Has Kimahir ever indulged in tobacco?
No, the man doesn't even drink.
Are you certain? I found chewing tobacco in the garden.
I controlled Kimahir's expenses since he struggled with the currency. I would have known if he used tobacco.
Now we know everything.
If you find my man, I have a marvelous whiskey with your name on it.
Yeah, and I have a marvelous toilet bowl with your name on it. So he doesn't want to give me the key. Why? Previous. Oh, we're selecting which one it was. This is what it was. Here we got, so they wheelbarrowed him away. What happened here? He unlocked the door. That was him, barefoot. No, that wasn't him. He was in the wagon. This one is barefoot. That has to be him. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's see. We got a couple more steps here. He put the pallet in. Oh, he put it in here, and then he put the cloth there. What was the other one? Is him sniffing it. No, that was it. It was him. We can open the window.
Is this a Tanifa, a Maori water ski, or something else?
Either way, it's giving me chills.
Alright, so here we got the poisoner. We don't know what happened here. There seems to be one clue that is missing here. Oh, so before he did this, so he's throwing it in. The other is unconscious. He's picking it up. It's bringing him away. We got one clue here. Let's see what he did here. That was the Maori guy. No, that's chewing tobacco. It's not him. Must have been this guy. He jumped in through the wall. He might have broken off the statue. No, this was about to be fixed, so that must have been there before, probably. So we're missing the step outside. What an idiot that he didn't give us the key. Now we have to do this giant detour. Oh, we just can't go here? God damn it. So maybe that wasn't the first step? I have no idea. Wouldn't the first step be landing here? Let's see, what else can we tack on? Oh, nothing. The icon of pinning evidence is gone now. The icon. Trail in. Let's see. Maybe he stole the key first. Oh yeah, there's one thing missing here. Right. Oh. Ooh, what is that? It doesn't look like an item that Kimiha had possessed.
A small navy spyglass.
Oh, now we can get this step as well. Okay. He fell? Okay, but that's not... He fell with his face in there. If this guy falls in it, there's also not his face in it. I don't get it. He's just always falling into the back. Why would he fall over this? He fell over this alone? No. I think he was carrying Kimiya. I think this must have been the curse of events. He landed there, spit out some tobacco. Then he got here. He poured in the opioid pellets, and then he stuffed the thing so that it would fill up the room. Make him like unconscious. And then he could just drag him out without a fight. He stumbled over this. Crunched his head into the grain bowl or whatever it is, the grain sack. He put him on a wagon that was here. That was stored here already. And he took, that was probably Kimiha's or whatever's. And then he opened this with the door. With the key that he got from here. Wait, one is wrong. Which one is wrong? Is that the last one or the first one? Maybe this one is wrong. It's him? Oh, there's 3 of them. Oh, okay. So, I can see it now. There's 3 options for this, 3 for the next, 2 for the next, 2, and then 3 again. So, there we go. Got it.
Surveilling from afar, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimahir went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimahir inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected. The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimahir had the key in his shack.
Remarkable. It makes total sense.
Nice. I still got it. And we can unpin whatever is pinned. There we go.
You'd best have found something by now, gentlemen.
I fear that someone may have spied upon Kimahir. Likely the owner of the spyglass I found earlier. It appears they were watching for some time, as there was an impressive amount of chewing tobacco on the ground.
And your point?
I found the residue of narcotics in Kimahir's brazier. There are several explanations, perhaps your servant's recreational interest, or an attempt at poisoning.
Cut to the chase, Mr. Holmes.
You said that you checked the shack earlier. Did you notice the cart tracks near it? Now, one ought to expect a servant to make regular use of such a thing. Indeed, I would have overlooked the detail were it not for the cart's absence. If, as you say, Kimahir never leaves your estate, then where did it go?
I expect answers from you, Mr. Holmes, not questions.
I won't keep you in suspense any longer, Captain. Kimahir was abducted by the owner of the spyglass. When your servant fell asleep, he slipped a narcotic into Kimahir's brazier to make him sleep even more soundly. In order to carry a man as large as Kimahir, the intruder stole the cart and rolled him right out of your garden.
Now, hold on. All this simply to tell me what I already know? Why haven't you found him yet?
I only arrived a moment ago. It is, frankly, incredible that I have already deduced so much.
Every second you dawdle here, waiting for me to stroke your ego, is another second wasted. I'm not interested in the how, the why, or the who. I am only interested in recovering my investment. Spare me the claptrap, boy, and go and fetch my servant.
The point is, Captain, we're telling you this for a reason. The intruder fled through the garden door, and we need a key to follow his trail.
Well, then you should have led with that. Here you go. I hope you'll return soon with good news. And in the meantime, please teach your companion the art of brevity.
Please teach yourself the art of not being a jerk. Yeah? Sheesh. I mean, with people like that... Screw the detective profession. Screw it with a broomstick.